Hi, I'm Ann Legg, and I get the wonderful opportunity to speak with Karan Bhalla, who is the Chief Growth Officer at Trellance. Karan, welcome. I'm so glad we get to have another conversation.
Love talking to you, Ann, always. Thank you so much.
Likewise. So let's just start off with, we look at credit unions, and from your perspective, there's obviously the data and the solution piece, but somewhere along the line, people at the credit union have to figure out, how do we take this and bring it through? Can you talk to me a little bit about that area and what you're seeing and some of the solutions that you guys are providing?
Absolutely. So, and it's going to come back to people. One of the things we've seen just over the last couple of years is the rate of change of innovation, right? So innovation is changing. And with that, the skill set needed to accelerate and keep up with it has changed a lot. So a lot of times credit unions, as it is, we know there's a big labor shortage. I heard today, or just a couple of days ago, 11 million open job positions in the US today. So 11 million, that's significant. I think our entire workforce is about like 200 million. So it's a significant amount. And just within the technology space, data, technology, analytics, 11 to 15,000 within credit unions. 11 to 15, so a significant number of open positions. So now mirror that or sort of match that up with just the fact that we have innovation happening at the rate that we have. Fintech's coming in, so I get a new fintech, I need to figure out what software it needs. And even on our job positions have changed, right? It's not just I need a report writer, which used to be the old definition of a report writer. And now it's I need a BI specialist in Tableau. So you've gotten far, far more specialized, and it's been very, very hard to match talent with innovation and needs of credit unions. And then add that with the fact that you're competing with everybody else. DuPont, GE, Google, Amazon. I mean, what is it, 13% of the employers? 13 employers make up 30% of the new hires. Huge numbers out there.
Okay, so you've painted a kind of, I'm not going to say a gloomy picture, but definitely a picture of our current landscape that is fraught with a lot of friction. Tell me a little bit about how Trellance is helping to solve that friction for the credit union.
It's a bittersweet thing. I think you're right. I mean, it's not a gloomy picture in the sense, it is the reality. I think it's very important to know where you stand in an industry if you're trying to solve a problem. I think we recognize that. Trellance recognizes that. We know that credit unions have this challenge. And so I guess the bittersweet part of it, the sweet part of it is that it has created an opportunity for us to serve them better. We have access to the talent. We're global. We've got multiple locations in India. We're looking at Eastern Europe. We're looking at Asia. I mean, we are looking truly at bringing talent to credit unions in the best possible way. So there's solutions in there. It's not like, it's knowing the problem to find a solution for it sometimes. And so we're very, very vested in helping credit unions succeed. Our professional staffing, our talent solutions, our My Talent Center is all built around helping credit unions get to those fintechs, get to those solutions, get to their members the right way.
Fantastic. So here we are at the conference. How exciting, and it's great to be back with everybody.
Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about, you were involved in 2 sessions, and if you could highlight a little bit around your sessions, describe them for me, and tell me a little bit about some of the key takeaways.
Yeah, so one of the sessions I was talking about was the War for Talent, which talked about just a broad spectrum of topics pertaining to talent, like retaining people, the remote environment, the hiring aspect of it. So that was one of the topics. And the other one I talked about was next best action, just helping credit unions take their data and do more with it, right? How do you find ways to re-engage members and engage members with using predictive modeling and prescriptive modeling? So I talked about those 2 things. On the War for Talent, it's interesting, how far we've gotten, how remote we've gotten. I've had a member of my team who's worked with me for months, and I had never met him. Like the conference has brought me together, so I'm happy to be at a conference for that reason. But it's true for everybody. We're all in a weird sort of a flexible, remote, hybrid environment, and keeping people engaged, retaining them, and just training them. How do people develop in their careers? Have they taken a pause for 2 years? Is that what it is? I mean, how do you find ways to overcome that and retain these folks, and just as we turn the corner of the pandemic, re-engage them and get your projects done, because a lot of things have been put on hold for a while. That also has led to that sort of talent shortage that we were talking about. Is a lot of projects have been put on hold. All of a sudden now people have the need to get them done, and we are running short of people. So that's a lot of what we had. A really great panel. We had some we had Mark from Filene. We had a lot of good people. We had McKinsey on board. We had Doug from Tahoma Advisors. We had a good panel.
So tell me a little bit about, as you look at this whole component around talent and this need, and you laid out this really great environment for us. As you look at that, what excites you most about where Trellance is going and where you're going to be able to take credit unions?
Well, just given our member-owned, not-for-profit sort of mission, and given the fact that 100% of our members are credit unions, it's super exciting to be able to serve the market. And I have a banking experience, and now I have a credit union experience. And time again, I'm reminded just by meeting people about why we do what we do. So for me, in fact, this is one of the things I said in the panel. I said, understand what really matters to you. Like, figure out what your message is. And one of the things that we're doing to hire people is being very clear that you have to understand the service mind or the service first missions of our clients. And if you can do that, and if you can reflect that in how you engage with them, so it's bringing more of that. I mean, I know it's sort of a very broad and more of an emotional answer, but the truth of it is the ability and the fact that we have the capability and the resources to serve our clients. I'm a service guy. I mean, I love that. That drives me. On the flip side, I'll tell you just on the analytics side, that little bit that I was talking about the other session, it was all about 10 years ago, and I mean, you know this, we used to talk to credit unions about doing all of these things with data, and we'd get these glazed over looks like, oh man, that's just daunting. Well, fast forward to today, right? All of them have data, and they know it. And you don't have to sort of share the importance of data anymore. But what you do need to do is still tell them to start using it and start using it actively. So I still get a little bit of those glazed over looks sometimes, but I can totally see in 2-3 years, we will have credit unions be far more innovative and far more analytical than they are today. And that's what I was talking about, is how they can do some of that.
So as you look at the predictive analytics component of that, and like you said, the trajectory has been, gosh, we were sort of stalemate and now we're moving forward. Tell me again, or even think of it this way, what are some of those excitements you see? Where do you see credit unions being able to go? What are those problems that predictive analytics are going to be able to solve for them?
The example I gave is around just like card usage, right? So we've gotten pretty good as an industry. Like, we'll do proactive limit increases. We'll do proactive some kind of spend incentives that are somewhat catered to individual cardholders or group of cardholders. Well, we can get to the point of like real-time messaging around it. Like, hey, you know what? You just swiped at a Starbucks. By the way, they're a partner in our rewards program. Can you just finding ways to kind of be more real-time with them? Because that's what our members expect. I mean, they're in a world right now where the moment you swipe something, you get a notification. You get, the moment you watch something, you get to hear what's next. I mean, all of this is happening. So just finding ways to be far more timely with this. And there's other solutions out there in the marketplace. There's better fraud solutions. There's identity solutions that sort of help people validate. The worst thing you want to be is, and it's happened to me, like, we have an office in India, so I go out to India, and I've gone out there, and I'm not going to name the bank, but it was a bank, that my card stopped working. And they refused to approve it. Like, normally one level, second level, they wanted me to eventually send my social security card copy. I'm not even making this up. This was about 1.5 years ago. And I said, I'm in India. Not many people travel with their social security card, Just having, and if I had some kind of visual identity that kind of baked in, those kind of solutions are going to change the way. And we need to do it, otherwise others will. I gave the example of Chime this morning, who's gone from, in the last 3.5 years, from 0 to 12 million accounts. Like, you know what? We need to see that kind of growth in our industry.
So as I'm hearing you speak about it, we're hearing about not only where we are, but where we go. And as I hear that, it's around member value. Can you speak to that member value and that credit union value?
For sure. Our members are, if we think our members are only members of our credit union, where it's a complete misnomer, they need to see constant value and constant reminders of the value. The number of times I've had institutions say that I've got really good rates or I've got a really good product, but for some reason I'm not. Well, that's because we're not reminding of members. We are in a world right now where that member value needs to be constantly reinforced, reminded, and actually implemented on for our members. So I love the way you sort of summarize a lot of what I say, because obviously, you have a similar analytical mind as I do, but it is about bringing it back to the members. And if you're not communicating and engaging with your members, timely, relevancy, speed, all of these things, accuracy, those are the things that will change the way we engage. Our new demographic of members coming in, and the evolution of our demographic of members, age-wise, all kinds of sort of aspects of it, is going to force us to rethink our products. Like, I sometimes wonder why we don't have, I've not run into any credit union that has a retirement checking account. Like we say, a lot of our members are older, why don't we have retirement checking accounts? I'm just giving an example. Right. So bringing that kind of innovation to the industry, bringing that value, that's what the fintechs are doing, and that's what we need to pick up and add to.
So this is kind of a big question, all right? So I'm just prepping you. So think about everything. Yes, prepping for this. As we think about everything that's gone on and all of these topics we're talking about, if there was just one takeaway that you think a credit union should take,
oh my God,
so just a big one. Okay, so think about what's the one.
You know me, my mind is running 100 miles.
I know, so you'll probably give me two, but all right.
Give me two.
Okay, give me two. What are the two takeaways that you think credit unions can take away from the Trellance conference?
Oh, from the Trellance conference, I think one of we're here to serve you from your staffing needs, but I want to take that point a little bit step further. We're not just here to, you're not a revenue stream for us only. Sure, at the end of the day, if you use our services, there's a give and take there. But the truth of it is, we're here to help your staffing needs, even from an education standpoint. So one of the things I said today at the session was, understand the platformification of staffing is coming. We know that it's happening. So understand what is the core things that you want to hire for, what are the core things that matter to you, what culture do you want, and hire people that reflect that and serve that key need. Don't worry so much if you don't have a BI programmer who does Tableau, if that's not critically important to you. So that kind of platformification is coming, and I think credit unions need to recognize that, because otherwise you're always going to be trying to catch up rather than focus on getting ahead. So that's one thing I would say. The other thing I'm going to go back to my next best action comment is like, you have to be thinking of your members at every step of the way. You have to be thinking about, and with that comes, how can you use the data and the information you have to think of them, right? And it's not only about cross-selling. It's not only, let me talk to you about an auto loan, because at some point that's maybe not be what the member wants. If you're using these models to always talk about a product, you're going to always be talking about, and that's not the value. It might be, hey, I've noticed that your direct deposit is sort of disabled, or I've noticed that there's a certain sort of variation in your patterns of spending. How you position that is important. But that might lead to a far more insightful conversation and a deeper relationship with that member. So understanding and using your data to engage with your members rather to just sell them something.
Fantastic. Well, thank you as always. It's just delightful to have a conversation with you.
I love it too. Thank you, Ann.